Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Here we are. We're back again. One's in the chat if you can actually hear us and see us. Sorry about that. Stream went down. Don't know why.
Sometimes the internet be fickle like that.
Yep. But it is number 2, Electric Boogaloo. And hopefully you guys can hear us. But anyway, I saved some of your questions, guys. And let's see. Yeah,
But,
Connor.
before we do that,
Yep.
let's before we do it, let's ask Drew his ending,
Yes.
kind of his final thoughts, and then we'll get Connor on here.
Yep. Yeah, Drew.
Good game. Very good game to see us get this result. I like where this team is starting to head. I like what I'm seeing in the past 2 games. I like where we're starting to look more free and more confident. That's what this team has been lacking a lot this season, is the confidence to do anything. And if we can continue this throughout the rest of the year, and I'm not even saying get into the playoff spot, but if we can carry this confidence out through the rest of the year, I'll be very happy with going into next season. Seeing what players we can bring in and what coach will end up, I'm confident where the direction of this team is going at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
You don't think it's a flash in the pan?
I hope not, but from what I'm seeing, is it looks like it is repeatable.
Yeah.
The confidence is everything, and if we can keep the confidence, that's the biggest thing. And that if we can keep that, it's everything for this team.
Yeah.
I agree completely. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, that's it's I'm reticent to say I agree because like I really do think it's a flash in the pan, but I do think though if they can cobble together a couple of wins and do get the confidence, they can to a degree right the ship. So if you can get a statement win against Columbus, that's pretty big. Like you got it in you. I mean, but the questions come back, right, on the forums and other places on the internet. It's MLS. Any team can win on any given night, but what matters is the average. Do you win on average? And Atlanta does not. So we'll see if they can actually start working on the average versus just once in a while they can beat a decent team.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Indeed. Well, Drew, thank you so much. Pleasure as always. Get some rest. It's 12:30.
Thanks for hanging out with us this late.
Just glad to be on, guys. Thanks.
Always
Take
a
care,
pleasure,
Drew.
man. See ya. Alrighty.
All right.
So, yes. Connor says everything's all good. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. Connor did say an 8-goal contribution depends on the system, in my opinion. Yeah, to answer that question, yeah, so talking about what we actually require in an 8. And, yeah, I think most of all in MLS, you need the player that can dictate the game and can run the game for you. Usually your midfielders are the most well-rounded players, so they kind of need to do a little bit of everything. And, yeah, if they can chip in with goals, assists, defensively, in attack, recycle the ball a little bit. That's what we need them to do. And it's also, yeah, you require them to run the most and also, cover the most ground. So it's absolutely important that,
And have an extremely high soccer IQ.
yeah.
It's like be exceptional athletes and exceptionally smart as well.
Right. It's absolutely important. And so,
Speaking of exceptional athletes and exceptionally smart people, Connor, how you doing?
Howdy. Oh, I'm exceptionally smart. I don't get that much, but I like that. I like the sound of that. That sounds good.
Well, believe
But, howdy.
Howdy. let us know your thoughts.
Howdy. Well, best 31% possession game I think I've ever watched in my life. But it was surprisingly, for us having having 31% possession, I was locked in the whole entire match, and I thought it was like the complete opposite spectrum of like, you have like this perfect like possession based football, and then you have this like exact opposite, and both are beautiful in their own right. And we played the exact like opposite of like the beautiful like possession. We played the defensive, played a stout defense, and we didn't give up. We just gave up complete possession, and we took our chances. So thought it was a good game overall. But
Yeah, it's
how it has been frustrated in the past by other teams.
exactly. It's if some people
100%.
are Chelsea fans, they would appreciate the hell out of how we played tonight. And
oh, Conte, yeah.
Yep,
I
yep.
love me some Conte.
Right, or Mourinho is probably more of what I'm referencing here. Where and it's
Shout out to Glenn and to Mark.
yeah, right. It's not.
Spurs have had both of them too, so
Yeah, exactly.
I know it well.
It's not always pretty, but it's effective. It gets results, and yeah, if you can get that against top teams, I mean, that's probably part of the problem. Is like, yeah, we don't have the technicians to be able to play possession football, but that was the problem that we were trying to square peg round hole with Gonzalo Pineda in forcing the issue, when this is the type of team that we can be, that can get results if we really kind of highlight and what's the word? Basically, make sure that those things that we're good at, we really push in those directions versus, things that if you get better players, absolutely play a different way. But yeah, we're playing with kids that, it's just they don't have the on the ball ability, they don't have the creativity, they don't have the experience to do some of those things that we need them to do. But
to piggyback off the like, whenever better players come in, we need to create a system where even if the better players are out, we still have a chance of winning. And I think one of the things that we didn't see under Pineda is we were so reliant on a 10 and that creative guy in the middle that we're able to do it right now without that. And I think one thing is if we do get a 10 and we solely build around that, it worries me, because if they're out, I really think we have a massive hole.
It seems like we're going to.
That's why world football is going away from number 10s.
Exactly. Yep. And that's part of it, is that you're requiring your midfielders to be more two-way players. And yes, they may not be as brilliant on the ball, but they allow you to platform and do other things. Miranchuk for the win. Speaking of, it's probably a little bit more of an out-and-out number 10, which, it is. That's a great question if that's a route we should go.
The thing with him that I do think would be, it's not necessarily that he is a right winger, but he occupies the same space that a right winger would. So I would be interested to see if under Pineda or under like the next coach, if we do bring him in, if he does play as a right winger.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's got the pace for that, but I think it's this. It's there might be a little bit of more fluidity between, if Saba stays and Miranchuk, if he is brought in. Maybe they do kind of, maybe not switch positions, but they do kind of get into different areas and different zones where it allows them to be effective and not occupy the same areas. So hopefully that is the case. But
Saba better stay. Just putting that out there in the universe right now. I would be very upset if Saba left.
Yeah, I mean, it is that. I mean, I think we're seeing a lot of effort from him, and it's not just effort. I think we're seeing fruit from his performances, because
and even when we're not, we're seeing someone who, pardon my French, fucking gives a damn.
Yeah,
and that's something we haven't seen often. So I really like him in that regard, especially. So
indeed.
Even if the goals don't come or something, you still get a effective. He's an effective player either way. He'll put in the work, and he also carries the ball well for us. So I think some people were really ragging on him, even like recently, and I'm like, he's not amazing. Like, he's not this world class player, but he's a very good, like, for the money that he's on, he's very effective. Like, it makes the signing and the player that he is and keeping him around makes sense. I don't understand the people that want him gone personally, but
Yeah, I think in that regard, just to kind of try to get in their mindset, I think they're seeing the form of the team. They're throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
yeah.
And I think there are good players on bad teams all the time, and it's
And to be fair, players fluctuate.
Yeah.
So they can be like cataclysmically bad at one half of the season, and they could turn things around, and vice versa. So. It's difficult. It's hard. You don't know what part is bathwater, what part is baby sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Some previous chat. Andrew Watkins says, first 20 seconds, first goal to dethroning the MLS Cup champs, and then the Braves win. Best weekend ever. Hey,
Okay, so we got to talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
In the fact that, what was it last week we heard about? That it was only one Atlanta team can win at a time.
Oh yeah, I thought that. I'm a very big Braves fan, and I thought that was a big thing for a while. Only one of us won.
Oh yeah.
Each night, that was a really big thing. And then one night, I think we tied, and the Braves won, and like we tied, and I was like, and then that kind of broke it, and now it's kind of like it's only
monkeys off the back.
Exactly, yeah. There for a while though, it was like literally like if one of them lost, the other one won, and then one of it, like if we lost, then they won.
It is as interesting and specious as Tyler Pilgrim's macaroni correlation that he has. When they offer macaroni in the press box, we win, like 100% of the time.
Also,
offer macaroni more often.
Right, exactly. Hey, I had macaroni tonight. So, I mean, is it just a correlation but that's the thing. It doesn't matter if you do. If somebody eats macaroni, yeah. Somebody eats macaroni, we win. Okay, all right.
Publish the result, Tyler. I'm calling for it.
Right. I mean, our health be damned, but if I have to take one for the team, well, okay, but yeah, let's see what else do we have in the chat previously anyway. Bruno Kubas, stand your nickname Norwegian Air. Ooh, I like that.
I like that. What do they have? I mean, there already is SAS, Scandinavian Air. So there's that airline.
Yes.
You could say that. What else is there? Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
KLM is.
Yeah, KLM.
Think,
yeah,
so.
exactly. It was.
Yeah.
Trying to remember exactly the name of it, but yeah, exactly.
SA or SAS is Scandinavian Air, so you could call them that.
Mm-hmm. Hey, there's a Footy Mob kit that I think has something like that, has air or something, and it's a dope one. But anyway, further thoughts, Connor?
Oh, see, not much. I mean, talking about like, is this kind of performance like, can we do this in other games? I think, I think one thing that I'm seeing is parallels to like an Inter Miami game. I think that's an issue I'm seeing. But other than like, I think we had chances that we didn't take, so I'm not as worried about like the goals maybe not are as replicable, but we as a like unit, I think we can replicate that kind of performance more often. And you're like giving me that weird face. Not necessarily that I don't think we can score like corners.
Well, it's the Sebastian headers that we've never done before.
I think the thing that I'm wondering is most of the other teams in MLS. Like, I think one thing is height is not an advantage for Columbus. Some of the other teams I don't necessarily know if that's going to work against. But if Saba keeps on putting in those kind of balls, like I think we can, if we're focusing on doing set pieces, I think we'll score more. So I'm kind of That's also that's a low impact kind of drill to do. Like, you're not killing each other, you're not running a bunch, so you're able to train that even on like low days. So I think that's one thing to think about as well.
Absolutely,
So,
and I think that's the beauty of it is that these set
my
plays.
dog wants them, so I gotta run and grab him.
Oh, good, oh, good. But
Yeah, go for it.
yeah, it's the beauty of this is it's a nice curved monitor there, noticing there. But the thing is with these, and that's a great point, is that these are not kind of the plays that you have to have, a lot of space for, a lot of players for. I mean, yeah, you can set these plays up with, possibly sometimes even just either cones or, assistant coaches. Like it's definitely something that I feel like is repeatable, and it's how a team like Stoke City in years past was able to beat a lot of good teams that were trying to play with the ball more often than not. They would find ways to smash and grab. And right now, I mean, we have to be, I think, cognizant that we're that type of team. And, against the sides that are a little bit similar to us, yeah, it's just difficult. Like, we don't want the ball. Like, it's like right now, the technicians in the team, we have two of them, maybe. Like, who else would we call, MLS elite in technical ability? Besides,
we don't have anyone.
yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, I think on the wings,
Maybe.
yeah, I think on the wings, Saba and Silva, I think are pretty decent technically, but
Elite.
yeah, elite, no. But I think that's the problem. Is like we don't have anyone in the middle of the park that is capable of running the game like a Nagby, like a, hell, even an Aiden Morris, those type of players that, you can just rely on. And it's, yeah, like, highly press resistant. The passing ability is just insane where, every pass is in their locker. I mean, we just don't have that. And
Yeah, I mean, tonight at the game, I was sitting next to Mark Nichols, friend of the show, awesome guy, on the show often. He said it's just too easy. He saw Columbus passing through the midfield effortlessly over and over and over again against us, and he just kept like offhandedly saying like, just too easy, over and over and over again, and that's fair. But luckily, we were able to snuff out a lot of their attacks and remain resolute defensively, and Columbus also wasn't super clinical, so that was also great in our to our advantage. But yeah, I mean, if we had that kind of ability to play like Columbus or play like something else where we could just pass through all the pressure effortlessly like Columbus seems to do, at least in this game, to Mark's recollection, then that could be a huge boon for us. And if that number 10 and we get maybe an upgrade from our number 8 or something like that, that could be that answer.
Indeed. Connor, you're about to say something.
To like,
oh, you froze.
I talked about is they had am I good?
I lost your video there, Connor.
There we go.
I don't
You're
know
back.
if your internet is.
You back.
All right, we're back. All right,
Yep.
all right, good. So talking about that, one thing that I thought that was interesting in this game, and also just talking about like things that we could possibly work on and like implement into our own team, is they had Maton, a 10/winger, who was playing as a central midfielder / an 8. So I think that's one thing that's interesting is they were very good on the ball, and because they dominated the ball, they were comfortable to put someone that's probably not a central midfielder in central midfield positions. Granted, he didn't exactly play he didn't play like a center mid really. He was more of that like left-sided player most of the game. He was that outlet on the left side, and he was able to just move freely there. And they're all kind of free. They all get to do what they want and move with the ball. But I think that's an interesting thing that we haven't seen is some of the better players haven't been put into like that kind of position ever in our team. And I kind of question, granted, we don't have the kind of depth to be able to do it. We don't have the young players who do that. But why have we never tried this? Why is someone not like I think Thiago's probably done it a little bit, but like,
Yeah,
I mean,
like
other than him,
like a
like,
yeah, I feel you. I mean, it's something that uh like I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna talk about Arsenal, but basically, yes, it's like a Samir Nasri and like his
yeah.
ability to be the like a winger playmaker essentially, like a not really an out and out winger, but somebody that can make plays for you on the wing. Yeah, absolutely. Like that gives a different look, especially if the fluidity in the team, you can have somebody that's is in the middle that can occupy different spaces. And I think that is something that we can look at as a kind of different look than what we're maybe traditionally used to. So absolutely, like I think we should 100% look at all the options of the types of players that we can bring in. And so yeah, maybe in that vein, if it's the right side, maybe it's Miranchuk, but I don't know. I feel like you have this ability to bring in a DP to really kind of change your whole disposition. I think you should probably try to also probably fit it in what kind of what the team is currently, possibly, especially if it's a
I
28
hate
year old.
that stuff, man. I get what you're saying. It's I hate like it just makes me so nervous. That's like we don't have a coach in place. We think we know what our identity is,
Mm-hmm.
and it's this thing that we're just gonna get DPS for, and then hope the coach can just like acclimate to that.
Yeah,
Like that, and it just makes me very, very nervous because I don't
We've-
like what we've been for the last 5 years. So why would we continue that? Just if you're gonna get a slam dunk home run coach, let them dictate the way they want to play, and then have the team built around that instead of, well, we've been doing this for 5 years and it hasn't worked, so let's just force another coach to abide by that. It just makes me feel weird. I'm not saying it can't work. I'm just saying I look at past events and they're often very good predictors of future events.
exactly. We've seen this movie before, and yeah, it ain't good. It's a box office bomb, and yeah, it is the chicken and egg that the team unfortunately has to deal with right now, because yes, season ticket renewals are coming right now, and like I mentioned before, a good bit is that yeah, the optics around the team are important, and so unfortunately they almost have to make a move for DPS. Like teams know they have 50 million to spend. They're not going to spend it all, but they know that 1 to 2 to maybe 5 more million, they can maybe squeeze it out. And that's the difficulty that Atlanta United have, but it is the bed that they've made themselves in. And so, well, you know, it's really pressure makes diamonds. So, kind of at this point, better make some diamonds, but
Yeah.
it's really yeah.
Okay, your last thoughts on the game.
I think overall it was probably one of the better games that I've been to recently. I think overall enjoyment of just watching the game, I think it was up there. I have taking a look at just how we set up against them, how we worked as a team to defend against them. I think it was very interesting. I'm not sure if y'all saw Shalish whenever he was playing, he was kind of that 8-10 guy, and Rob kind of talked about this in his post game. It was very interesting how when we were defending almost as a 4-4-2. Whenever we were first like encountering them, he was stepping up into that striker position, playing a 4-4-2, and then whenever they broke a line, he just dropped into the midfield, and I thought that was really interesting. And honestly, I think that could be what Miranchuk does when we buy him. He's kind of an 8/10. He occupies that right hand side. And whenever we're defending, he steps up into that striker role. It just becomes a 4-4-2. I think he would work really well in that.
Yeah.
Maybe not, but
But
I think that's a role that he could do.
Right.
So.
I think that's really what it is that what they were talking about, maybe kind of bring it back to the simple things, the basics. because 4-4-2
Yeah.
allows you to occupy all the spaces that you need to defensively. And
Yeah.
I mean, with that, like if that's what we were doing, and if we're able to, really kind of stymie teams simply, and not have to overwork our squad because they are having to learn these concepts that are unfortunately beyond their ability at the moment. I'm for it. Like yeah, it's just sometimes going back to the
Keep it
basics
simple,
is
stupid.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, Connor, thank you so much.
Thank you,
We'll
guys.
speak with you soon. Have a good rest of
Yeah.
your night.
See ya.
Take
Later.
care, bud.
Alrighty.
All right, and we're gonna have our last guest come in late night with Late Night Fan TV.
Exactly.
Thanks guys for hanging out. It's a super,
Yeah.
Late Night Fan TV after dark for sure.
For sure.
But thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate it. Get your last comments and questions in because we're on our last guest and we'll be heading off out of this. It's almost 1 a.m. already. Thanks for hanging out.
Indeed.
Crazy. But hey, it's a win, so we're here for it.
Exactly. It's the late show with LA United Fan TV. But
Yeah.
Bruno Kubas, I think we need a 10 this summer. A 9 can wait if we let's see. If we don't get the one we really want, I think Rios Tiara can score if they get service. I agree, exactly. That's why I think we're prioritizing a number 10 first. We need a creator. We need somebody that, and that's again the thing is, do we need an out and out number 10, or do we need a little bit more of that midfielder that can create for you? The problem is, it's the whole thing where, yeah, if they are that good and have that ability, they probably won't be playing in MLS. So
Exactly. Yeah.
it's the difficulty, but
Unless
and-
they really want money.
yeah, exactly. But Bruno also adds, for me, it's a left winger, striker, cam, DPs. I think it's a number 8. I think it's a.
I would love an 8. I've been saying 8
Yeah.
for the longest time.
Yeah,
Ever
exactly.
since we lost our DP8 Darlington Nagby.
Yeah, exactly. But Niall, let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, definitely did not expect that win, but it was nice to get it for sure. Also nice to score off set pieces, which we haven't been able to do for a while. But good match. I thought Stian was on fire today. Saba as well. He's just, since Amada's been gone, I think Saba's really taken this sort of leadership role as like the person that I think is going to carry the team. And he's really, I think, since he's come back from the Euros thing, added a bit of fire to himself, which is you like to see. But yeah, it's a good result. I mean, this is a result where I would like for the team to be able to carry on this momentum from this, and hopefully they can, because it's not every day that you win against one of the best teams in the league, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We seem to be able to do that this season for whatever reason.
Well, it's with good reason. I mean, it's basically, yeah, we're the team that can smash and grab because we don't need the ball.
No. Hold on. There's no good reason we beat Miami in Miami. There's no good reason for
Oh,
that.
I think so. I think our ability.
We just did it. There's no rhyme or reason. You can't be like, oh, we were just so smart, or we just played way above them. Like, it's just,
Well,
it just
no.
got lucky.
Yeah. It wasn't we played it way above them, but that's the thing. We smashed and grabbed. We essentially, because Saba had a wonder goal, 2 wonder goals, essentially. I mean, sometimes you rely on, I mean, and this is what we do, you rely on that ability that is sometimes just, what am I trying to say? The top talent. It's getting late, guys. I'm having brain farts.
We're
and
also not saying 2 different things.
We're
I'm
not.
saying
We're
we got
not.
lucky. We're saying we got 2 wonder goals. You're right.
Yeah, exactly.
And-
But
and
with
Messi
this,
only scored one amazing
I
goal.
know, right? Exactly. But in this game, I think it was more, yeah, the type of like Stoke City type of game, the type of I think, or to bring it into maybe 2024, maybe like Brentford, maybe like just the lower sides. That's how you beat a top team, is you let them have listless possession, in very undangerous areas, and at that point, hey, like when you're direct, when you are clinical, which we weren't exactly clinical this match, but clinical enough from set pieces. And that's the thing. It's imagine if we had put one of the other four, I think, other chances that we had in the box. That
It's 6 big chances. Yeah.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
And Silva almost got his again.
I know.
Almost again.
I know.
I feel like I say that every week. Almost again.
Right. But that's the thing. He smashed that ball, and where was it again? From the left side. So it's just one of these things where, like, yeah, give him some more looks on the left side, and also, yeah, maybe he should also look into trying to score the near post, because it's a little obvious maybe that he's always aiming for that far post. But anyway, I digress. Niall, go on.
I thought the energy in the crowd was interesting. Interesting today with the silent protest. There were definitely times where it felt a little bit
Or
weird.
lack thereof.
Yeah, or it felt a little bit weird, but yeah.
Yeah, but it had to happen.
It was, we saw AJ and he pointed it out to me, and I noticed it thereafter when he's like, it seems like half the supporters are doing the chants and doing the things, and the other half are like, what are you doing? I thought we were in agreement that we weren't going to do that. Like, it's kind of interesting.
Right.
So.
And so it wasn't completely unified, and it's part of it. It's like this fan base is so big. It's very difficult to pretty much completely unite the entire thing. And some people don't agree. Some people obviously were pro for it. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I'm gonna use my opinion now.
Yeah,
I mean, here's
please.
the thing. Like, I understand the frustration, right? I said this on the last episode. I think the pricing out of the season tickets is ridiculous, but I don't think that being silent at a match is really, I think, gonna be like the biggest indicator for front office people. Like, oh, like something's up. Like, because for me, if anything, it just makes it feel like the players did something wrong, which I don't like, which the players are not responsible for season ticket price increases last time I checked. So, I mean, I understand the frustration, but at the same time, like, part of me does think, like, I feel like if there was a more effective way to do this.
Yeah, which
let me wait. Hold on one second. I do want to say one thing, because I want to clear something about that. If I could, because I'm not sure if I completely can. When I talk to the Gulch representatives, I talked to them a lot today. They assured me that when they talk to the front office, and I maybe even to the players themselves, because apparently they have it into them, they told me, or the Gulch representatives told me, that they assured us that the players knew 100% that what was going on had nothing to do with them.
Okay.
So hopefully that's true. I'm taking their word for, that, and I hope that is true, because I agree with you. It would be very bad if, because, we've just been talking about how Saba puts his, life on the line almost every game for this team, and I really feel that. I feel like he is genuinely passionate about the team, so it would really suck if he feel like he took the brunt of a protest or something like that. So yeah, I'm just saying, I hope that is indeed the case, but I hope the Gulch did their due diligence. They say they have, so if that's the case, then there it is. That's that.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that.
right,
Yeah.
and there is that aspect.
Fair point. That's a very fair point.
Right, because I think that's what a lot of people have the gripes about, or they're screaming privilege, and that it's something that support the team and whatever. But I think that's really where it is listen to the entire argument from what the people who are protesting are saying, because I think that's what often happens when people on any subject, if they're protesting, and they only see one aspect of it, but they don't actually look into what the actual message is and what has been said.
Yeah.
It's exactly what's happening here. And there is kind of the other aspect of it where, okay, maybe the other thing to do is to just not go to the games. But yeah, a lot of people, that's the problem, is that it's the hard-earned money. Why would you not go to the games if you can go to the games? So, it's kind of shooting yourself in the foot if you're doing that. But in the other sense, it's in this match, they did it for this match only because they wanted to send the message to the front office. Okay, so I get that. The other possible ways, one of them anyway, is, I don't know if anybody remembers, it's Drink, another Arsenal reference, but there is that really watershed moment when all those Arsenal fans were outside of the Emirates. They were completely, it was in the middle of summer, but they were like chanting, protesting, "We care, do you?" to Stan Kroenke and his entire ownership group, because they were essentially not spending any money on the squad. And so, if we want to do that, sure, but I feel like with the way that Georgia is and the way that America is, if we were on the grounds for the Bens, like, there would be so many arrests, and absolutely the message would be clouded to what the actual thing that needs to be said to be said. So,
and being out in the summer is a lot different in Georgia than it is in England.
Absolutely. So I think, yeah, there might be other ways, but I feel like, with what they feel like is their contribution, which, yeah, I was gonna say earlier, didn't really get to finish it out, but it was basically that, you have, I feel like a third each of what's important for each club, roughly. But basically, you have the front office and their decisions. You have the squad and the players and what they do, their performance, and then you have the fans. All of that needs to coalesce to really be something magical, to win trophies. There might be the off year that a team has a terrible ass fan base and, yes, wins MLS Cup or wins trophies. But I think more often than not,
Like almost Philadelphia. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, Philly actually have good fans. They just don't have a massive stadium, so they don't come out.
I know, but they love to sell them as we are the assholes of the world, and so like everyone hates us and we don't care. We get it.
Yeah, indeed. So it's just one of those things that, like, it's a very important aspect of it. Like, players go to clubs because of their fan bases. Like, yes, they also go to clubs because of their money and, what they can get.
It's yeah, they go for the three things, yeah.
Yeah. And so if it's all three, if they're getting paid well, and it's a good team, and you also have really great fans, well, it's just a perfect chemistry of, yes, no-brainer. So, it's an important aspect that if it's going to be overlooked, that's very foolish, in my opinion. But let's read the chat a little bit, and then we will head out here. But let's see. So let's see. Yeah, Connor Watson says Luton Town. Yes, absolutely. Definitely a great example of that. Bruno Kuba says the second foul in the box, was it a penalty? It looked like it. Well, did you see it? What do you think?
Well, there was many fouls in the box, so
Sure.
Which one in particular?
Yeah,
I think he said second.
Yeah, the second foul, but I guess which incident? Yeah.
Not that, I don't think so. I feel like there was maybe a trip or something, but not a foul. But I'd have to look back at that one because it's late.
Yeah. It's also this. It's like, yeah, they don't show the replays in the stadium sometimes on plays that
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
frustrating.
man, like
Yeah,
it.
I don't think any of the calls that I saw were particularly egregious this game. I
No.
don't think that the ref was like terrible or anything. So
Right. Like they will only show it really if it is probably going to be in our favor. If it isn't,
Yeah.
they don't really do it. But anyway, Fern Solo says, so do we go to the games or should we not go to the games? So that's not the point. Is if you want to go to the games, go to
Yeah.
the games. If
yeah,
if
you can support the team from watching at home too.
Yeah. So it really ultimately is, because if you buy merch, you're supporting the team. If you, say vamos on the comment section in one of the posts for LA United, that's supporting the team. Like, it doesn't make you greater or less than another. Yes, it makes someone maybe more fervent, but does it make you greater or holier than thou? I mean, I just, yeah. But Jack Dickens says Saba has been excellent since coming back from the Euros. Yeah, definitely looks like a man possessed in the sense that he has something to prove. That's for damn sure. Connor Watson says, go to all the games you can. Yeah. Connor Watson says, we won a damn game. Yep. I think I read that pretty correctly. Bruno Kuba says, I think it looked bad as a supporter section that we were doing two different things. In the first half would be as impactful for the whole game, and it was even worse when the drums gave up and started playing at the end of the game. That's the problem. Is that that's why you need a unified umbrella supporters group that like you guys all pretty much are on the same page, and again, too big of a fan base for that.
And to be fair, the Gulch, which is a representative of all of the supporters groups, it is like a democracy of sorts, and so not all the supporters groups are in unison with this idea, right? So not everyone's like interested in doing this type of thing or showing it in this type of way. So the Gulch understands that. They've told us that. They said, like, we get it. We're not, we're just going to put this idea out there and do this one thing, and it'll be satisfying one need and what one way we think we need to go. But for everyone in our group, that's not necessarily the way they want to go. So they will do their own thing or not, or abstain or whatever. But we are still it's still a collective of the whole thing. And so in a way, it's a bit of a democracy, and they kind of vote and kind of, that's the way they come up with what they're doing, which is, in a way, I think pretty fair, because it's a good kind of way of understanding the entirety of the Atlanta United fan base. Everyone, there's so many different perspectives. Just look at our Discord community. Just look at any of the, communities online about that follow this team. You see so many different opinions. So personally for us, we're just like, everyone's allowed to have their opinion and say what they want to say, as long as they can reason it and argue it effectively. Like, we're willing to hear it out and talk about it. And I think the Gulch pretty much does that, but in a more formal sense. So, good for them, at least that they're hearing things, and they also recognize the fact that they are not a unified front. So when you say, the Gulch and the support group, like all of them,
supporters groups,
don't necessarily lump them all into one, because they not necessarily have all the same views.
And that's what the Gulch is trying to do, but it also is, they're not a dictatorship, so they're not going to force everybody to do it. And so
exactly.
That's,
you just said it way better than I did. So good job.
Oh, good. No worry. I just summarized what you said in summation. Here we go. But Bruno says, but why play the drums at the end? I mean, that's the thing. That's exactly what we're talking about. Is there's division, and it's okay. I mean, this is the thing. It's like, again, if you want to pay more for your tickets, great. I don't, so I don't want to, and I'm gonna. I support people that want to do something about it. But again, if you want to pay more, be my guest. Be their guest. They will absolutely welcome it. More money for them? Of course. They will not say no. But Connor says, you go and boo and flip off the front office and make anti-tifos. That's just me, though, and make them know we are mad. Last thing, do we need the avatar to unite all the SGs? That's what the Gulch is. But the yeah, the flipping off of the front office, I definitely don't agree with there. But
I
yeah,
don't like to be adversarial. I don't think there's a need to be combative or adversarial. Like, like,
yeah,
it's just say what you mean, say your perspective in a civil, respectful manner,
Yep.
and protests are the voice of that, and that's what they're doing, and that's fine. If someone's like, well, we're gonna do some kind of a violent thing or some other thing, like, obviously that's not the right way of going about it.
Exactly.
So I don't want to flick off anyone. I don't want to like deride anyone or anything like that.
Yeah. And as far as anti-tifos, I mean, I think that's the difficulty, is that the front office and pretty much the entire team is the communications, all that. They're gonna have to prove what the tifos are to a degree.
They're gonna say no.
Yeah, and any sort of sign that you bring into the statement, like, it's just not like, that's not gonna swing. It's more on, that's why, like, the silent protest. Like, again, who did it hurt besides possibly the players who were apparently made known about it? So it's, at that point, like, you're being silent because, like, ultimately, if you feel it on the broadcast, if you feel it in the stadium, well, then you're gonna notice something's going to.
Well, if there wasn't the guy doing the whistle in the supporter section, I'm sure a lot of people are very happy about that.
Yeah, but Connor says violence is how matches get played behind closed doors. That's a lose for all parties. Describe? I'm not sure I fully understand maybe what you mean there, but violence is how matches get played behind closed doors. So are we talking about like closed door matches, or
no? I'm not quite sure what he means. So he'll have to describe more.
Clarify for us. But final thoughts, Niall.
Going to go. I hate that I'm gonna be talking about this, but going back to the violence thing, like, just to talk about that, like, I understand the frustration, like I said, but I feel like violence is a pretty childish way to go about it, and I disagree with the point that Connor made about, like, violence being the norm, and like, for how games are sorted. That's not, especially not in American sports. I think there's a way to go about it without completely going off board about it. Like, if you are upset, want to express yourself about that, sure, but if you want to like cause harm to other people, then that's something else, and I for sure don't condone that. So
Right.
Yeah,
Because they're definitely.
I'm now curious to think, like, maybe Connor's meaning, like, talking about the old fact, like that sports are essentially, that could be like viewed as a facsimile for war, right? Like a substitution.
Sure.
So it's like, tonight Atlanta played against the city, the city of Atlanta played against the city of Columbus, and we defeated them in a battle. It's like,
right.
we did this as a facsimile in exchange of actually fighting them. But
Right.
it's obviously not what we do in the modern era. So
Because it's like countries, definitely not in America usually, are pretty violent if they lose a match, or if there's some crowd infighting, or even just if you look at getting into the Copa America final, that was pretty crazy. And staff pulling, man, I'm not even, it's not even pulling, but basically like body slamming supposed journalist. That it's just wild. That's Connor clarifies, like, violence towards players, stadium, or staff, that would likely mean supporters wouldn't be allowed in. Okay, absolutely, for sure. I think that's that's just a given. I feel like for like any bit of that, like, it's almost an automatic ban probably from the from the stadium. But how about we overcharge visitors teams by 35% so we make profit? Well, then other teams and their supporters will absolutely put up a stink too. But it also is kind of like F them at that point. But like, we don't want you here anyway. But it is still like,
I have a feeling that MLS would not allow
they
that.
would not allow that. No.
Yeah. Because it's a franchise of an entire enterprise. So
Yep.
they'd be like, let's not have one group bully the hell out of some our other franchises.
Exactly. Yeah, they will police that pretty quickly, I think. But yeah, Connor says that happens in other countries. I don't think that would happen in America. I was basically saying violence isn't the answer. Yep.
Yeah, well, then you're
yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But yeah, get your comments in. But yeah, Niall, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your night. We'll speak to you soon.
Thanks for hanging out so late with us. Jeez.
Yeah,
You're-
of course.
Yeah.
All right, see you guys later.
Yeah, it might be the latest that
Okay,
we've ever
bye.
gone.
But
Who
yeah,
knows?
I mean, this is pretty late, but yeah,
Yep.
cheers.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Have a good one. Alrighty. Let me change it back over here. Boom. Okay. Bruno says, what about charging 25 cents more the hot dogs? That'll help paying the extra cost. Not everyone wants to eat hot dogs, but but some people, yes.
And
But
I had a loaded dog today.
there you go.
Amazing.
There you go. There you go. You know, I erred more on the side of mac and cheese, like I mentioned, and did it help contribute to our win?
And that's yes,
Who
of course.
knows? But
I'm telling you guys, if you guys are fans of Scars and Spikes, you got it. You got to go to their website, go to their their social media, tag Tyler, tell him publish the macaroni correlation. I want him to do it. He's hiding it. We got to see it.
just, I think all you have to say is just mac and cheese.
Yeah, mac and cheese correlation.
Mac and
Let's
cheese.
do it.
Yep. Anyway, is the dude from Atlanta good? I heard from Connor. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about him in some previous 5 Sharp Weeklies. We'll probably, we'll direct you over to those. It's late. We should probably head out. And
But yes, suffice it to say, he's very good. In MLS standards, he's elite. So
Yes.
hopefully, he's not a Thiago Almada, but he's very, very good. He just plays a different way.
Yep.
He's not going to score as much, but he will assist far more, which I think we probably need a little bit more of than, we need a creator in chief versus like also just a goal scoring threat.
yeah. And yeah, he's definitely more of the type of player that's, I think, can kind of run the game for you in a lot of different ways and put in that final ball. Whereas, possibly, some of the other players, I think that's really where it is. Like, we currently as a team, we're not very clinical because also the ball before the actual possible chance isn't exactly where it needs to be. So there is that aspect. But anyway, yep. So Connor says he's pretty good. So anyway, Michael, final thoughts for you.
Yeah, this was a good game. This was an exciting game. This was, if you were at the stadium, something you watched from the beginning to the end. And that's exciting. I like that. And that's the kind of games that I want Atlanta to have. Even if we lose, if we can still fight hard and give a good game to the fans, I think that that's important. So, as long as we're not getting blown out, as long as we're not just coughing up leads in very embarrassing, silly ways, as long as we're not doing the same dumb stuff that we've been doing over the last couple of years. But, like I said, even if we're still losing or like whatever, it's entertainment. That's what it is at the end of the day. And that's what I want to see. That's what I pay for. So if it's entertaining, even if we lose, if we fight, that's what I care about. And that's what I want to see. Because not once in this game that I think we were out of it.
Yeah.
Right? We were always in this game. We were always potentially around the corner for another goal and for a win and to just continue and continue. Even if Columbus scored a second goal, I was like, we could score a third. Like, that's exciting. That's what's fun. If it was just like, in the past where you watch Atlanta United and they're like, we scored one and there's just no way we're scoring again. It just, you just can see it. You can see that there was just no way forward. And the other team was likely going to score another one. And it was pretty much written in the stars at that point. So, if the book is yet unwritten in the game and we can continue to fight throughout in the entirety of it, that's exciting. And that's the kind of soccer I want to watch. Even if it doesn't end up our way, it still could go either way. And that's what's exciting.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, as far as for me, I mean, it's definitely, it's great to see Stian Gergersen kind of get off the blocks a little bit, and hopefully he can stay on the pitch. And hopefully Atl United can continue to come up with creative set plays that can more or less, for lack of a better word, bamboozle the opposition a little bit and catch them off guard. Because 2 matches in a row, you know, a little bit of momentum that we're doing these type of things. Hopefully we can do more of them. And yeah, you know, long live
strategery.
Yes, a little strategery, and long live Liam Curran's strategery. But yeah, so yeah, that is the episode then, guys. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. That's Michael. I'm AJ. Thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Good night.